up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have some Detroit Lions news. The Lions are going to look kind of goofy on Saturday. Also, we got to hear from Riddick on what he would do if he was the general manager in Detroit and what he would do with Matthew Stafford. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here and we have some Lions news. Oh wow, Saturday's game is going to be interesting against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, we may not be in playoff contention, but it's still going to be some watch. It's going to be must-watch TV in my opinion, just to see who is coaching the Lions and what the heck they're going to look like, because it's going to be interesting. Now, yesterday we went through the participation report and we touched on the Lions getting some guys back. It looks like Juno Coro will be there. Danny Shelton returning to practice. We don't know if he's going to be activated off of IR, but he is returning to practice. You look at a guy like Everson Griffin, he is also returning. So we got some good names returning, which is cool to see. We will be back with the participation report a little bit later today. I actually have church, so that I'm going to get back from that, and then I'll come back, and then we'll talk about that. So we had the participation report that we'll take a look at a little bit later. The Lions coach for Saturday will be Robert Prince, their wide receiver coach. That's going to be their head coach. So our third head coach this season. 3? Wow. Now, this isn't something that, they're punishing Daryl. No, Daryl Bevel, he's dealing with the COVID issues. He's actually in his own hotel room right now. He missed his 28th anniversary with his wife. He's frustrated. You could just tell if you listen to him, the dude is frustrated with what is going on. I do want to make this clear is that Daryl Bevel did not test positive from my understanding. Daryl Bevel was in close contact, high risk. That's why a lot of these coaches are missing, is because we had one player and one non-player test positive for COVID. So it is a 5-day wait for these guys. So it's not that he tested positive, it's just that he can't be there. So like we said, he's in his hotel room. Coaches, because the close contact have to wait 5 days, which would be Sunday. So they could technically be coaching there, because right now they're doing everything virtual, right? They could actually be at the game on Sunday if the NFL allowed them to move it to Sunday, but apparently the NFL must have denied that request because the Lions put the request out, but it's not going to happen. They're going to play on Saturday, which to me personally, I don't think is cool. I think that's kind of whack. You know, we've had the Everson issues. How many coaches were missing? I mean, you telling me if a playoff team was missing this many coaches, they would let him play? No. I think they would definitely push the game back. I know there's no other game playing at that time, but you would find a way. I mean, the Steelers pushed it to like Wednesday. They pushed the game twice. I get it. The Lions are in playoff contention. I understand. But it still should be fun to watch regardless. Now, what are the Lions doing in practice right now? Well, they're just doing everything virtual. So everything's going to be virtual. They're going to continue to work with their team virtually. You know, they're watching practice virtually. And then on game time, it'll be Robert Prince, who is out there as our head coach. So I don't know. It's just going to be fun. All I know is that he will bring the energy. Just look at him mic'd up. If you just want to see what he brings, the guys love him. He is absolutely crazy. He's probably got the most juice of any coach that we have. But this is what Daryl Bevel said that they're doing in practice. He says, as far as day-to-day, all the way up to game day, we'll be doing our same rules. Again, today, I did our normal red area install today. We were watching practice virtually. We were talking, making decisions with the coaches after still have all our meetings. Everything's exactly the same. Friday's meeting will be the same. Just will not be able to be there on game day. So everything is going to be the same. They're watching it virtually. Is that not weird or what? Like, wait, if they can watch it, can we watch it? No. I'm just saying, that's kind of strange, but that's what they're doing. Then they're having the meetings, they're doing everything virtually. So wow, what a crazy world right now. I mean, just honestly, like what is going on right now? They're seeing their defensive coordinator Corey Unlin, because I thought he would be the guy to take over the head coaching role, but since he's missing, he can't. So they're missing Corey Unlin, they're missing their defensive line coach, they're missing their linebacker coach, and their secondary coach. And offensively, they're gonna have quarterback coach Sean Ryan call the plays for Matthew Stafford, and their head coach is gonna be their wide receiver coach Robert Prince. So he'll be the head coach. He'll be in charge of, okay, you know, timeouts, time management, things like that. I think maybe calling, you know, challenging things, but he won't really be calling the plays for the Lions. But we know Robert Prince brings the energy. So if you want a guy on the sideline that's probably going to bring a lot of energy, I feel like Daryl Bevel brought a lot of that, but so is Robert Prince. Look up Robert Prince mic'd up, and you guys will completely understand what I'm saying. The wide receivers love him. Danny Medola said he's the best coach he's ever had. The wide receivers love him. So he's a guy that, again, the players like, and I think, you know, he's just going to bring the energy to the sideline, but he will not be calling plays. The guy calling plays will be Sean Ryan. Now, Robert Prince does have some experience. He's been with the Lions since 2014. He joined with Jim Caldwell. He got retained by Matt Patricia back in 2018, but he goes back to being an offensive coordinator with Boise State. So he has some of that, you know, in his repertoire. Is that how people say it, repertoire? I don't know. Is that Spanish? Italian? Is that Italian repertoire? I don't know what that is. Our guy calling plays will be Sean Ryan. It just makes sense, right? He's worked with Matthew Stafford as a quarterback coach, so I'm sure, he'll kind of know what to do, and they'll work together on that one. So I don't expect a lot of changes to the offense, but it should be fun. So now more Lions news. The Lions have released Jonathan Williams, the running back, to give room to Everson Griffin to return to the roster off the COVID list. So that is good to see. Not good for Jonathan Williams. I kind of feel bad for him, but we do have our 3 running backs, and they've been healthy. Kerryon Johnson has found a way to stay healthy. He just hasn't been getting the ball that much. DeAndre Swift and now Adrian Peterson as well. So those will be our 3. We really haven't needed Jonathan Williams because they've been healthy. Well, only 2 weeks left of the season. They're going to make room to bring Everson Griffin back. I get it. It makes sense to me. This is interesting. This is going to be the guy that's running the defensive court. Now they have pushed over duties. So assistant, you got your assistant coaches now taking over the actual main role because again, we're just missing all of our positional coaches. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary. So you have the assistants taking over that role. But now you get Evan Rothstein. I think that's how you say that name. He is a research assistant, and he's going to call the plays against Tom Brady. Now, I hope he did his research. Bruh. Because if you didn't do your research, you're going to get pieced up against this offense. Our defense is already extremely hurt. Maybe we find a defense coordinator right here. Well, he's getting an opportunity, and he's going to be the guy that's going to call plays. Joined the Lions as a special teams quality control coach back in 2012. He moved to special projects 2 years later. And now he's going to be calling the defensive plays against Tampa Bay. So, yeah, hopefully he did that research. You know what I'm saying, Evan? Hopefully you're prepared because this is going to be a challenge. But honestly, man, it can't get much worse. Last week, what was it, 46? You ain't getting much worse than that. So, okay. Yeah. I guess, no expectations. So maybe some cool things happen. Maybe he does the research. Maybe he is a super smart guy and he's all analytical and he just figures out how to shut down Brady and we find our defense coordinator and then the Lions go win the Super Bowl next year and roses. I don't know what I'm talking about. What we got to hear from Louis Riddick was sent by my guy, Mike. He sent me this video, so shout out to you on Instagram, Michael. He sent me this video, and I wanted to listen to it. See, Louis Riddick is a GM candidate. He's already interviewed for the Lions GM role, and while he's not at the top of my list, the one thing that I really do like about him is what he has to say about Matthew Stafford and his vision for, what the Lions should do with Matthew Stafford. And he was put on the spot today on Get Up. He was asked, hey, what would you do if you're the Detroit Lions with Matthew Stafford? Now, again, I still think it's Matthew Stafford's decision. Does he want to stay? Does he not want to stay? But let's just say it's one of those things where, okay, the Lions are making the decision, right? What would you do? Well, here's what Louis Riddick had to say.
Not that hard. Look, Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. Matthew Stafford's a real good quarterback. He needs some look, he's got a good left tackle, good offensive center, 2 good running backs. They got some issues at wide receiver as far as unrestricted free agency is concerned. Matthew Stafford should be sitting right where he is. They build around him, Detroit will be just fine. Does that answer your question?
So that's what Louis Riddick had to say about Matthew Stafford, and I like it. That's one thing that I really do like about Louis Riddick is I agree with that. I'm fine with drafting a quarterback and putting it to Hine to develop, to learn, because I think a lot of quarterbacks need that and they can really benefit for it. But I think, he's absolutely right. The dude is 32, 33 years old. He's not that old of a quarterback. He still has 2 years left on his deal. You could even extend him past that. He's not a super old quarterback if you protect him, if you take care of him, if you can run the ball, if you can be average on defense. We're making the guy look older than he really is because we can't do anything and it's just starting to look really bad. And as you guys can see from that clip, on the bottom where it said the dead cap, I think that's one part of the reason. Look, we've already done a video on this, what I think will happen with Matthew Stafford this offseason. But yeah, obviously that's a lot of money. So again, that's why I think it's going to be one of those things where, okay, it's going to be Matthew Stafford's decision ultimately if he wants to be here, if he doesn't want to be here. But I think Louis Riddick is right in terms of, hey, yeah, you got to build around him, because my issue is this. Okay, you can draft anybody you want to, and I think it's great to draft someone because you're going to have to at some point. You probably will. Just drafting someone doesn't necessarily mean that guy will work out. So you could be in a situation where you draft him, he turns out, okay, this is not working. Okay, good. At least we have another draft. Next draft, we can do it again. We can try to hit on one there because it is super difficult to hit on a quarterback. But my thing is that, okay, look, even if you draft a quarterback, no matter who you put back there, if you can't run or play defense, it won't matter. You have to be able to do that. That is why all these rumors, oh, hey, Matthew, if you went to Indianapolis, you went to Stanford. The reason that comes up is because they're saying, well, that team can somewhat run. That team can somewhat play defense. If Matthew's there, they'd be really good. Well, that's the issue. It's okay, I get it. We can't do that, but it doesn't fix the problem. Just because you get a quarterback won't fix the issue of not being able to do it. You haven't been able to do it with Stafford. You haven't been able to build around him. Completely understood. But you won't be able to build around the next guy either. From what I know is that you can bring in any quarterback you want. You won't be able to build around him either. So until you find the right leadership, and we've done the videos on what kind of guys I think you need, but until you find the right leadership, the right head coach, the right general manager, none of the other stuff is really going to matter because you can't build a team. You haven't proven that you can build a team. So whether you put a young quarterback, an old quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, no matter who you put back there, if you can't do anything, it's going to be an issue. And we've seen that with every quarterback, no matter where they've been, no matter how great the quarterback is. If you can't run or play defense, I should say, you're going to have issues. I think, you're seeing with Pittsburgh the last couple weeks, they're starting to run the ball. They're not doing anything. Now they're losing to teams, and they're not losing to good teams either. Bengals, Washington, we beat Washington. And you see it everywhere, right? When Aaron Rodgers had those down seasons, it wasn't because Rodgers was trash. It was the fact that they couldn't do anything. That's what we're seeing with Houston. You see it everywhere, right? That's one thing that the Lions have to prove that they can do, because if they can't do that, I mean, look, I love the thought of grabbing a quarterback, great. But you still got to show me you can make a team. You still got to show me you can at least make a team that's capable. Then if you can put a capable team around him and they can't win, that's a different. Now you realize, okay, it's a different issue. The problem is we haven't seen that. The only time we've seen a good defense around him, and it wasn't even a good rushing attack, the only time a good defense around him, it was an 11-5 season. So what I take away from that is, okay, you got to find a way to get back, not even to that level, but you got to find a way to build around it, because it really just won't matter. It just won't. So Louis Riddick, I think he understands the problem. I think a lot of people understand the problem. And that's why I made my Christmas list video for Sheila Ford, even not checked it out. Everybody understands the problem. I think a lot of people can understand the problem. Can you fix the problem, though? Can you fix the issues? If Louis Riddick could come in and fix the issues, I'd love him for that, because I think we'd be in a great spot. But that's the issue right now. Can you build an offense, and can you build a rushing attack, and can you continue to build a defense here? Because what the Lions need is stability, right? Matthew Stafford's been the only constant here. You keep resetting. Yeah, Stafford's going to get frustrated with that. I'd get frustrated with that. Like, really? We're going with another coach again? How many quarterback coaches have I had? How many offensive coordinators have I worked with? How many head coaches have I worked with? Like, let's get some consistency here. And if it doesn't start there, if you can't get it there, the other thing won't matter, okay? The big issue here is just that you can't do anything aside from the quarterback. Yeah, you got some good receivers. You're building the offensive line a little bit. You just got to keep building that, and we got to find consistency there, because you got to find consistency at the top, because otherwise it just won't matter who your quarterback is. It starts at the top. I mean, it goes all the way to the very tippity top, okay? I mean, it starts with the owners. It starts with Sheila Ford. Sheila Ford needs to start it by, okay, finding the right general manager. Then that general manager can find a head coach, or finding the right head coach to do both. Either way, okay, that's where it's got to start. It starts with her, because if she can't find the right people, and she decides, like she did this year, to fire Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn during the season, now it's going to be extremely difficult to build a team, because yes, those weren't the right guys, but how are you going to build a team if you keep restarting in 3 to 4 years? It's going to be very, very difficult. Only a few guys have done that. Right? Only a few guys. If you can't find that, you're going to have issues, because that's where it starts. It starts with Sheila Ford finding that, because if Sheila Ford can find that, now she doesn't have to blow it up. She doesn't have to fire people. She doesn't have to reset things. Because now you can have that building for years and years and years. It's not where, okay, we got 3 years, now we got to blow it up. No, you don't have to do that. If you keep having to do that, you're going to have problems, because every time the cycle restarts, you're just bringing in new guys that want to bring out the guys and bring in new guys, and then your cycle restarts again. That you're never going to get anywhere like that. A constant in our history has been the ownership and the fact that we keep cycling it. The only time that hasn't been the constant is the only time we haven't continued to cycle is the time we've actually had somewhat success. So we need to find a way to stop that cycle, and that starts with Sheila Ford handpicking the right people. So maybe that's Louis Riddick, maybe it's Joe Schmo. I don't know who it is, all right? I don't know who it is. We don't know who it will be, who she will hire. But the hope is that it's got to be the right one, because that's where it's going to start. And the Lions on the field are not going to be successful if it doesn't start there. It has to start with Sheila, and that's why, it is such a big hiring every time. And I'm just hoping she can hit on the right one. And maybe she looked at my letter I wrote to her, maybe, like open it up, peek at it, okay. Just a little bit, maybe. They just on the surface of, they have a good left tackle, Taylor Decker, who we just paid. I think he's very good too. They have a good center, Frank Ragnow, right? He's a Pro Bowler, very good center. He said we have 2 good running backs. I'm assuming he's talking about Swift and maybe AP. I don't know who the other guy is talking about. Maybe Peterson. So just continue to build around him and you'll be fine, Detroit. So short and sweet kind of answer, but that's one thing that I do like about Louis Riddick. If there's one thing that I really like about him, it's that I completely agree with him on that note. The question is, can he help and build a team? If he was the GM, would he be able to build that? Because that's something that we just don't know. The inexperience there is concerning for me personally, but we don't know if he could do that, right? We know he knows the problem, and I think he knows the issue right on, and I like that what he says about Matthew Stafford. I'm agreeing with him there, but the question is, can he build a team, right? Because that's a really big question. Can he get the right head coach to work with to build a team, to have that leadership? So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I just want to show you guys that. My guy sent it to me, so I thought that was really cool to check out. Also, shout out to everybody that was in the stream yesterday. That was awesome. And, yeah, we'll be back a little bit later probably for another video, but I'll probably only have 2 coming out today because, today's Christmas Eve and tomorrow's Christmas. I have stuff going on tonight, but hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas. Everybody has a great holiday. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Robert Prince, that should be fun. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Are you kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons, of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?